Yo, what's good, P City? It's your man, Big Rak.
And it's your boy, Zero.
And you're tuning in to
Hustle
and
Grind
100.9, baby.
Here at Noongar Radio.
The one and only.
Woo! Perth City, stand up.
That's what's up, man.
Man.
We have a fucking special guest in the building, bro. Honestly, like, everyone's been telling us to get Jcal come through. Everyone that's come through has been like, yo, Jcal made the beat for me. So, yo, ladies and gentlemen, welcome Jcal in the building.
Brother.
Hey guys, what's up? Thanks for having me.
Nah, dude, it's been an absolute pleasure.
Bro.
Sorry to keep you waiting for like so long before we started the interview.
Yeah.
It was a vibe. Profits, shout out Profits, killed it, bro.
Yeah, man,
shout
absolutely.
out Profits.
Man, once Profit gets going, bro, it's hard to stop him.
Yeah.
So it's like,
There's
you
no
tell him 10
stopping
minutes, he's like, another 15.
Yeah.
Never stop
hour.
a man with a passion, bro. That's
Facts,
the,
man.
That's it, bro.
Man,
Did you
speaking,
wanna-
I was gonna say, speaking of man with passion, bro, you've been working hard
Yeah.
for a minute, bro. So tell people who you've worked with and like in the last few months, ever since lockdown and everything, man.
Yeah, man. Well, obviously, like, the focus has been Perth. It's all that it is, and I couldn't be happy about that. I guess probably mainly people would know Marley Jose.
Yeah.
Produce, engineer, and manage him as well, and sort of built a really cool team around him. Toa Tommy, Cam Dag, Your Girl Foe. Tisha, recently, nothing out yet, but I've been working with her. Zane Rose, Shadow.
The list goes on.
The list goes on, man.
Yeah,
The whole, well, it sounds like you got the whole list of who's killing it right now.
Coming
Into
your-
your, you know, Perth City coming into your studio.
Yeah.
How's it feel?
Oh, great. Like, look, it's just, you know, I'm just happy that, you know, people see value in me. And for me, it's just about, like, sacrificing my ego for the music. So, you know, I play different roles for different people, you know. Like, I don't always have to make the beat. Maybe it's just an engineering thing, you know. Or, you know, with Marley, I handle management, and often people will come with me for strategy and things like that. So, you know, whatever I can do to help, man, that's what I'm here for.
That's what's
what's
up.
up.
And to a certain degree as well, you're kind of a conduit between people. So, you know, with networking, you're like, I know this person that does this.
Right.
So, you know, meet
I'll
this
hook you
guy,
up.
and, you know, you can make a song together or whatever, you know what I mean?
Of course, I've been hosting, like, these big group sessions at my place and stuff. And, man, I just really wanted to take it into my own hands to kind of make a scene, you know, as like a, you know. And, because, you know, being over in Sydney for a little while and all that stuff and seeing how things operate here, and I was like, you know, the caliber of artists here is as good as what's over east. And I can tell you that, you know, but it's just like, you know, everyone's kind of in their own pocket. And
there needs to be a hub.
So you're saying you work, you're in Sydney. Were you working on any music in Sydney?
Yeah,
or
so...
with any artists over there as well?
So I actually moved over with an artist called Ziggy Ramo.
Oh, Ziggy.
Ziggy. So, Ramos, sorry, I should say. Probably. I worked really closely with him. I produced the whole Black Thoughts album that he put out. He recently just did at the Opera House,
that's
which
crazy.
was crazy. I was kind of on a run with him for a couple of years.
He's been killing it.
Yeah, working really closely, and then was over here, and then I don't know, a few things happened, and I decided that I wanted to sort of come back and refocus here. And he stayed over, but we talk all the time now, and things have been going crazy since he dropped that album.
So you and Ziggy, were you close mates?
Like the brothers, still brothers, man. Like, he, I have a lot of love and respect for that guy, and a lot of the ideologies and things that I stand by now are because of him. And we really did a lot of growing together, and a lot of the skill set I actually have now as a songwriter and somebody who has the ability to finish songs is actually from grinding with him. So my time in Sydney was really valued, but I, you know, there was a few things that happened, and I really wanted to sort of focus on what was going on for me here, and I've been able to do that for the last 2 years. And it's been, I don't know, I think this year, you know, as crazy as it's been actually been one of the best years of my life.
For sure.
Being able to just be stuck in a studio 24/7.
And
you got a list of artists just coming through.
And they're dope.
Also, like, I think there's I don't know, we've had this conversation with many artists. I just feel like there's a wave in Perth coming at the moment, you know what I mean? Like,
it's here.
Everyone's just booking it, you know what I mean? Like, but dude, with sonically, where do you sort of find yourself as far as like genres with hip hop, and do you sort of fit in any pocket, or do you sort of go for a specific sound personally?
What's required? Like I said, and I really stand by this motive of, like, I really sacrifice my ego to the art. So whatever it requires, you know, it's never about what, like, I want. It's just like, you know, what is I don't know how I process it. Like, I can't probably break that down, but I hear something, you know, or whatever, or I make something and it just I can't
You don't
fake
fit
it.
any
Yeah.
box.
I can't
Yeah,
fake
yeah,
it. It's
yeah.
just got to be authentic and it's got to be real art. Because I've been in a little bit like when you get a touch of that like corporate-ish world of like oh, here's a songwriting
Yeah.
brief and stuff. It's just so stale.
Yeah.
And to actually just get into a studio with and that's why I love working with independent artists because I've done a little bit of label stuff here and there and it's like it's cool, but
You get
when
like free roam.
when it's just like real,
Yeah.
it's just something about it.
Yeah.
Because I think what a song is, really, when you break it down, you're just literally capturing a moment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Facts.
And you can't just fake that.
No,
Yeah.
for sure. Well, I mean, like, I remember we were chatting along, like a couple of weeks, maybe a week
A week ago, I think.
Yeah. Just a week ago.
Just
Yeah.
a week
About a
ago.
week
Week
ago.
ago.
Yeah.
Fuck with us
But
and then we
yeah, we were chatting about like the fact that for you, when it comes to making music, like first it's like the vibe, fun, and then the rest of the work comes in
Right.
after that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you want to make sure that you're actually gelling with the artist
Yeah.
that you're making music with, and not just setting
Totally.
the beats from like the other side of the country or whatever.
I can't. So one thing is I don't send beats.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't do that. I need to make the song with you.
Yeah.
I think like first and foremost, I'm a songwriter. You
Yeah.
know, like bar all the production, the beat making and mixing and stuff. Like most people that work with me will tell you the reason they like it is because of my sort of the way I like structure things.
You have a
and put it
hands-on
together.
approach.
Hands-on approach.
Yeah.
So like when I meet someone for the first time, I remember. So a good example would be Tisha.
Yeah.
Who's like a sort of not singer-songwriter, but like in that sort of pop lane, but in her own sort of style.
Yeah.
Like the first time we met, we didn't even make music. She came to the studio, she sat on the couch, I poured some wine, and we spoke for 2 hours.
Yeah.
She left, and then the next time she came through, we wrote like a song that's going to be the next, like I think one of her singles of the
Wow.
EP. You know what I mean? But like
This is-
that is really important for me
Yeah.
because
Getting to know the people.
yeah, because it's vulnerable. Like
Yeah.
making music with somebody is vulnerable. Like
Yeah.
they need to like tell their story
Yeah.
and like and it's like if they don't trust you, and like someone's got to maybe reach for a note. Like I want people when they're working with me to actually try things that they probably never tried before.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's why
true.
people come to me to do the singy stuff because they
Yeah.
know it's like they can trust me to make them
Yeah.
feel comfortable to push. So
Instead of going to another record or
Yeah.
another studio where they're just taking them for the money, you actually put your
exactly,
time
it's
and
like
effort.
you're on the clock. I don't do
Yeah.
hourly rates or anything. It's always
Yeah.
like flat because it's just
It's
it
the
shouldn't be a
vibe.
time limit on it, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, it's just the vibe, like if we have to talk for 2 hours before we lay a note down,
Yeah.
then that's
You
how it
get
is.
something out of that.
Yeah.
Totally.
Who are some of the like producers or songwriters that you sort of take inspiration from?
Yeah.
Really recently, there's a guy called Eric J,
Yeah.
who he's like a producer, mixer, sort of A&R kind of guy.
Yeah.
He actually mixed all the Bills on Glass by Chet Faker, and he
Okay.
mixes all the Flume stuff. So he's like
Oh,
close
dope.
with the. Yeah, I think I don't know, his approach to music's really good. Obviously like big people like Mike Dean,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and stuff like
I mean,
that.
Chet Faker's massive.
Yeah. Also,
Like-
I mean, like on the
Yeah, on the
hip-hop world,
I feel you, I feel
I'm
you,
sort
yeah.
of trying to think of Australian people as well. Even like Styles Fuego, those Melbourne guys,
Right,
and
yeah.
like Uno Stereo stuff, people like that. Those guys are killing it. But really anybody. But yeah, I really like the people who are really good at like sort of driving a session or driving something.
Yeah.
I think that's what when people they come to me, they're like. Even when we do the big group session stuff, it's like, oh man, you're like really good. I don't really leave the seat,
Yeah.
and it's like I'm good at like leading. I have sort of like the leadership qualities
Yeah.
to like get stuff done. You know,
Yeah.
it's not like it's cool. I don't know,
So
and
it's
I'm
still like a vibe, but you're still getting it
yeah,
done.
still getting it
Yeah.
done like really quick, and that's the thing I pride myself on being like quite fast with
Yeah.
like just the technical stuff.
Yeah.
Like you're not going to be waiting for like I've got to like wait like 30 minutes to get the mic. No, like it's
Yeah.
set up, and
feel
like
you.
everything's patched in my studio. Like okay, cool, we want to do some piano or we want to like do the synth. It's like it's there.
It's
like
there. Yeah.
if I'm not in the studio working, I'm in the studio working on my workflow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's all about like it. I feel like the fast, when I talk about being fast, it's not like about like just for the sake of it. It's because like when there's emotion, that can fade, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you're waiting like an hour to get the fucking aux cord, to get the aux cord working.
No,
Dude, you're right. You're
Yeah,
right.
I just wanna sign up.
It's
I'm like,
hustle and
no,
grind,
no,
bro.
all good, all
Dude.
good.
So
So
many
I'm trying to keep it PG, but yeah, the bloody aux cord not working, then I'm like, nah, so.
I feel it. And
Yeah,
it's little things like that, like you said, they can derail a complete
Such
session. You know
little
what I mean?
minor
Like,
details that
yeah.
it's like, I have this thing, I want to
Yeah.
like lay it down. You're like, oh yeah, give me a second,
Nah.
like, you
No,
know what I mean? Like,
straight in.
We've had a lot of run-ins. With the
well,
hustle and rhyme sessions, just little mini, those little.
Let's just say we're not producers.
Yeah,
that's okay. But even the other day, like we came, and
with
Marley had to let me know a certain thing. And shout out Marley. I'm going under the bus, kid. But we had a problem, and I was like, let's just we'll fix it. And I was like, I think I take this like, very seriously. Like regardless, like, and not to the point where it's like it's not fun. I'm like, oh, we need to make a hit, or like it's not about that. But it's like when we're working.
I think when it comes to creating art in general, you need someone that like it's
someone
great to have fun, but like there is also the other side of like putting the work in. You know what I mean? And if you don't have one without the other, then it's not a good piece of work.
I mean, if you don't take it seriously, how can you expect it to like you go? Oh, I want to be like Drake, or I want to like it's because those guys.
They grind.
Treat it
they hustle and grind.
They hustle and grind, and it's like if I have any advice for anybody, it's like treat it like a job before it actually is. Yeah. And I don't mean in a stale sense. I just mean in like this how serious.
The passion and how much work you put behind.
Yeah, totally.
Facts.
Do you have any projects coming up? Any big projects? Any exclusives?
Yeah, I'm just gonna drop stuff. I don't even care. Sorry, artists. I have a really big project coming out with a really close collaborator of mine, Tommy.
Yeah.
It's called Pest Control.
Speaking of him, we got to get him through.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can organize that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess it's like an album mix. I don't care, whatever you want to call it, album mixtape, whatever. But it's 22 songs, so it's a lot. Yeah, I just sent that off to mastering. So shout out Zero. Good luck with that, mate.
22 songs.
Yeah, so we basically just write like a lot, and then put it all together and then put it out. So
are you writing for rappers as well as singers as well?
When you say that, you mean like
are you helping
totally
with the creative process?
Obviously
we're not like outing anyone with the
ghostwriting. No, it's not a ghost. It's more people can bounce off me. So I have like because I guess I consider myself like a little bit going back to your previous question, who producers I look up to Lewis Bell as well, who is not exclusive, but does Post Malone's like vocal production. So that's a big thing of like I was like when I went to Sydney I was like, okay, that's like working with Tucker from Fundamentals, and he has somebody that does that. I'm like, wow, that's a thing. Like actually there's a lot of intricacies to like making a song, and so there's people who do vocal production. So
you said you're working with Fundamentals?
Not Fundamentals. I did one record for one song. I did a single for Tucker. That was on his latest album, Naked Heart. I did that a couple of years ago. He actually, I consider him probably one of the only people that's been like a mentor. So shout out to him. He really is like, he's been really
shout out my guy.
He's a great songwriter. He taught me a lot of songwriting stuff when I was in Sydney.
Yeah.
So people can bounce off me. Like I'll be like, okay, why don't you try like a falsetto layer? Or okay, why don't you do the dubs like this? And like if someone's doing something and I straight away know it's not gonna work, like I'm like, okay, I stop them. I'm like, no, like. I meant like this, like the ends of the words, and I'm not just like saying that for the sake of it. Like I actually know.
You're like,
that when I songwrite, that's kind of, and just structure. Like I think that's why I mean Shadow would tell you like and Zane always say to me like, oh man, when we come to you, it's like just simple things like, okay, why is the first chorus go through twice? Let's just cut it in half and go, or like let's tease the chorus in the intro and then go straight into a verse. Just little things that like most people. I've just had the luxury of being able to learn.
See, most rappers coming up, they wouldn't really know unless having someone like you who can give them a hand.
That's why
you're giving that friendly advice,
Totally, and that's why I think I can consider myself a producer, and it's not to throw shade on people that just make beats, and I'm not saying that they're not produced, and I don't really care, like it's not like an ego, but like I think if you're really working towards the goal of being a producer, you need to have like at least a basic understanding of recording and engineering, songwriting, and be able to put parts together, and arrangement is so important. A lot of people think that it's like if you just have a hot beat, but if you have a hot beat and the bar's like 62, your verse is 62 bars, like people it's not gonna work.
People are gonna tune out.
So that's kind of that's what I sort of mean by writing, I guess.
What are like part of Perth would you say you are is your like neighborhood? I mean like
where you come from?
6050, 6056.
I come from like the most preppy. Like I'm like Como, South Perth, man. I'm not like
shout out to Peppy Grove, baby.
Legit, like it's like where the South Perth like Royal Golf Club is. I'm not like 6151. No, I guess like that. I mean, I'd spend a lot of. I guess like Frio is my other home. home. That's where a lot of my artists are residing and stuff like that. So I spend a lot of time down there. But yeah, I'm not really. I rock up solo places. And I'm not really like the crew type of guy. Eh? Like, but
respect, bro.
Yeah. But I'm all down for that stuff too, you know.
I'm all down for it.
I can chill with the crew, but I don't need a crew.
But, dude, if someone's doing that in a rap and they're rocking their postcode, I'm down for it. Let's double that.
Let's get it.
Let's make an ad lib of that, bro.
Man, who would be your like dream feature or dream artist or dream producer or dream like label to work with? You know what I mean? Like
good question.
Someone that you're like, yo, this is it.
This is who I want to work with.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think like I know it sounds kind of cliche. I guess someone like just someone who's like really like even like Drake or someone like just really versatile. I like just anybody that I can learn something off.
Yeah.
You know, like I really like working with people that are way better than me because like I don't even see it as a thing of like, oh, you're way better than me. Like, and I get weird about it. I'm like, oh my god, you're way better than me. Like, let's like I can learn.
Help me. I can learn some stuff.
Yeah, really. I don't. Yeah, it's not really a thing of. I don't have that in my head anymore. Of like, oh, I need to work with someone and I don't have the mindset of the I've made it. Mindset. I think like I've talked about this a little bit like on the podcast and stuff. Like the tunnel vision of like. Oh, and you realize like your music career is never going to be like some linear path.
Yeah.
Like it's not. It's just a bunch of things, and then things might go well for a while. But it's like I feel like if your foundations are good, like if you go back to square one, and that's why I love. Not that COVID's a good thing, but that's what I loved about COVID is like when everything just died, and it was like okay, cool, it's just me and a few of my artists in the studio, and I'm like I'm happy here. You know, and then the rest of it's a bonus. So I do have like, and it doesn't mean I'm not an ambitious person.
No, I got.
But at the same time, I'm very like content with
As far as you're concerned, it's like whatever artist you're working with right now is the dream artist.
And exactly. And the only reason I've done that is because I've been that, and Ziggy and I talk about that a bit, like when things started popping up for us, because with him, I think him and I both had success at the same, like we had like hanging out with Kaylani and in LA in the Atlantic studio, and the Catch Me Outside girl was there, and like all that stuff. That's a crazy story. Right. And like we had, it was like, oh, how do we do this? And it was like junkies, man. Like you know what I mean? And then it was like none of that stuff, matters at the end of the day. Like you can get 5 million streams or whatever, and like
doesn't matter. Yeah.
It doesn't. It really doesn't. That's if any artists are listening to that, and you've got your first bit of accolade, it's like that's great, and keep striving for that. But just like don't become.
Don't let that be the whole thing.
Gotcha.
Nah. Be present and live for the art, and sacrifice your ego for the art.
Nah, facts, man.
That's facts.
Yeah, we're on to the hardest question. Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Oh, the top 5.
That's it, man. That's it. Top 5 artists you actually are, you're fucking with right now.
Top 5. I reckon I gotta put Marley in there. He's gonna hurt me. Marley, Tommy, Your Girl Foe, Tisha. I guess Shadow. I don't know. That's hard. That's a hard one. I think I just listed like off the but pretty much
listed his whole studio.
Yeah.
It's like and also Jcal Productions, brilliant,
and all the other gang.
Jcal songwriting is amazing.
Exactly. But there's a lot of people coming up that like no one's even heard of yet. That are like even Cam Degg, man. Like you don't even like. There's a lot of songs. Like we put one song out, but I'm like got a few under my belt. But I'm just like. Because I'm on the management side for a few people. Like I'm very like, as much as I'm all about the art, I also understand like there's the proper way to do stuff. So there's some songs I've been holding on to that I'm like, no, let's not just throw this out into the wasteland of like
SoundCloud or whatever.
Because everybody, and it's not necessarily a bad thing that everybody can put music out, but what happens is you get a really, really saturated market. So my goal really now for Perth is to kind of be that person that can kind of bridge that industry connect between the eastern states, and not even just the eastern states, but like just the world to Perth, and like someone that can, like A&Rs can hit up, and that's kind of on the low, kind of starting to happen, and so that's nice.
Dope, bro.
It's cool, man. That's cool.
Because here is dope. If you like, and I really hope like it's cool because now I'm getting like kids coming up to me like, oh man, it's really cool what you're doing, and that's great because I really want to like I want to see these like kids coming out of high school now like thinking that it's actually a possibility to make this a career.
Straight up,
for sure.
Because like when I came out, there was a scene, but it was kind of like an electronic scene, like when Pirates was around doing their thing. Like not that Pirates isn't around, but when they were throwing parties and stuff, and like there was kind of, and then sort of, I don't know, something happened. I think like the mining left or some weird thing, and like everything sort of fell away. And now it feels like something's brewing again, and I'd love to make it this new thing popping up a bit more sustainable, and all that. That needs to happen. Is and shout out to you guys, because like you even knowing who I am and like taking the time to be like, hey, you want to come through? Like this is the stuff we're doing right now is really important. You know? So shout out to Hustle and Grind. You guys are really
appreciate
cool.
Appreciate it.
Honestly, for us, the only reason we started this was because we were like, yo, Perth's got amazing artists. We need
we say it every day. We're like, it's just brewing and brewing.
It's crazy.
We're like, we got to get them known.
Yeah, facts. Man, it's been an absolute pleasure chatting to you. We could probably talk for hours.
Of course.
We could talk for hours.
You'll be chilling here, so regardless, we'll be chatting out back.
We'll be chatting out back.
Definitely.
But do you want to quickly plug anything you're working on and give people
Socials.
like where they can find you on socials, or Spotify, whatever?
Look, Jcal made on Instagram. That's pretty much where I do most of my
like networking and yarning.
If you want to see what I'm up to, that's where I'm up to. And like, I don't want to plug anything I'm working on. I just want to say, like, I don't know, like some people think that I'm possibly unapproachable. It's definitely not the case. Like, if you need like anything, like you want to ask me like, oh hey man, what's a cool like plugin, like, or hey, I've got this song, like what should I what DSP, like if you've got any questions, like I'm honestly here to help. Like I will talk to you if I'm on my phone, and I'd rather reply to somebody like asking me something than someone like sending me a fire emoji or something, you know what I mean? Like I would really actually want to engage with you guys. So like if you've really got questions about anything in this industry, or how I've done this or how I've done that, please hit me up. That's all I've got to say.
He's your man to go to.
Man, I'm sure everyone appreciates that. But ladies and gentlemen, we got Jcal in the building. This is Hustle and Grind. We'll be right back.
Peace.